Could I have your attention, please?
Yeah, turn the PA system.
If I could have your attention. I know everybody's having a great time, but we probably need to get the meeting started. Before we start the meeting, we will have a prayer and pledge allegiance led by Commissioner Morgan.
Let us pray. Most gracious and heavenly Father, we thank you for the day that you have given us and the beautiful sunrise that let us know you are in charge. Would you please help us to do your will in the work that we undertake? Help us to serve the citizens as is the best interest of the county, all of which we ask in the name of your Son, our Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I'd like to call the Cabell County Commission meeting to order. And the first item on our agenda today is the nomination and election of a president of the County Commission for the year 2020.
I would like to nominate Nancy Cartmill as president.
You're so kind.
Second.
The motion has been made and it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. We'll move on to the nomination and election of a pro tem of Cabell County for the year 2020.
Well, I'd like to nominate me. How about that?
Well, I was just going to do that because you've done it this year and done a fine job, and I appreciate that. So I will make that nomination.
Second.
Motion's been made, it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. At this time, we'll move right on into our agenda items, which is approval of the January 9th, 2020 regular commission agenda.
So moved.
Motion's been made,
Second?
it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item is the regular commission meeting, December 26, 2019, and I think that's approval of the minutes. So we want to approve the minutes of the regular commission meeting on December 26th.
So move.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made, it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item is erroneous assessments, land consolidation, split tickets, probate documentation, county clerk's probate office.
So move.
Motion's been made,
I'll
it's
second.
been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item is the purchase orders of 295705 through 295542 pay jackets, monthly payments to Fifth Third for fuel card purchases, and ACH drafts for weekly claims experience administration cost. Highmark.
Move to approve.
Second?
Motion's been made, it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item would be citizens registered to speak. We have a sign-in sheet for anyone that would like to speak on any item that's not on our agenda. We have David Williams, who has signed in to talk about EMS, and I'm assuming you want to talk about what's already on our agenda.
Yes.
We'll let you speak when the time comes.
Okay.
Is there anyone else that didn't sign in that would like to speak this morning on any topic that's not on our agenda? Okay, then we will move on. Motion to refer objection to appraisement and affidavit of heirs to a fiduciary commissioner.
Madam
Mr.
President,
Watson.
Mr. Oxley is here to speak on that particular matter.
Mr. Oxley.
We feel that as a matter of law, the appraisement and affidavit of heirs in this particular state is incorrect. There was a surviving brother, but who names himself as the only heir, but there are two surviving nieces of a deceased brother, and we feel under the statute in the West Virginia Supreme Court case, that's clearly an error. So we'd like it referred to a fiduciary commissioner to make that determination.
I have reviewed the documentation, and I believe his position is accurate, so I would recommend that we do in fact submit it to a fiduciary commissioner and let him make a decision on the matter.
You represent the two.
I represent the two nieces.
the statute, when you have a deceased beneficiary, the statute allows for that person's heirs to take
Right.
his share, and that's the statute he's referring to.
Okay.
It goes to his descendants
Yep.
rather than.
I'll move to approve.
Second?
Motion's been made, it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item is order to close the estate due to insolvency of Paul Hubert Brayley.
I have reviewed the appraisement of the estate. We didn't have any documentation, but the probate clerk's office brought it up to me. And there are no assets in the estate, and she indicates that there are 3 claims where they want to withdraw their claims. But the estate is insolvent, so I would recommend that we allow the estate to be closed by reason of insolvency.
So moved.
Motion's been made,
I'll second that.
and it has been seconded. Is there any discussion? Is there anyone here representing that? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item is a motion to admit copy of will to probate and to appoint alternate executor Michael S. Bailey as personal representative over the estate of Maud Audrey Christian K.
Mr. Bailey's here to speak to this matter.
Yes, thank you. I had filed a motion. I was the actual attorney that prepared the last will and testament of Maud Audrey Christian K. She came to the office a few months prior to her passing and asked me to prepare it with specific provisions incorporated in there. She desired to name a different individual as the primary, but to name me as an alternate in her will. I had prepared the document as requested by her. Subsequent to her death, it was brought to my attention that the individual who was named as her primary was apparently otherwise engaged in taking care of an elderly family member and had no desire, he's out of state, had no desire to act in this capacity. I could not secure, I don't have good contact information for him any longer, so I could not secure a declination to act on his behalf. But the amount of time that has passed since her death, I think makes it appropriate to file this motion. We could not obtain the original will. I don't know if it's in his possession or if it's elsewhere. But given the time frame that, from the time that she signed the will to the time of her passing, I think the circumstances are highly unlikely that she had a subsequent will made. I have no indication of any facts that would lead me to believe that she revoked this document. And I have been asked by other individuals who would be beneficiaries under this will to step in and see that the estate was probated and probated properly. So I would then move, I have my file copy of the will that I would tender to the commission. It meets all of the requirements. Mr. Watson has had an opportunity to look at that. And I would ask that the court then, the commission would accept this for probate of her estate. And then since the primarily named executor is not available to operate in that capacity, and I am named as the alternate, I would ask the commission to appoint me as the representative of the estate under the will.
Okay, Mr. Watson.
Yes, I've reviewed these documents. We have had certain beneficiaries contact the probate office, wanting to get this filed because they're seeking to have their monies submitted to them. And with respect to the passage of time, the only way that we can proceed is to have the alternate fiduciary, which is Mr. Bailey, to be appointed. And I would recommend that we do so, and to accept a copy of the will for probate because the original is not able to be obtained, and we have no reason to believe that it was misplaced or lost or destroyed. We just don't know that. So I think it's appropriate to allow the copy to be probated.
I have a question. The deceased, was it July 2018? Has
That
it been
was
like a year and a
July.
half?
Yes, it has been. She did pass on July 2nd, 2018.
And the motion to admit for probate, it has in there that Mr. Schultz, I guess he was the previous heir?
That's correct. The previous executive, or the primarily named
Said
executive.
he was difficult to make contact despite due diligence.
Yes.
Was there multiple attempts to contact him?
There were, and one of the beneficiaries actually had a conversation with him at one point, but we have not been able to secure any contact with him since that day.
Thank you.
So moved.
Motion's been made,
I'll second that.
has been seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
And I have an order approving that I'd like to submit along with the copy of the will, if I may.
Yes.
Do I
Sure.
submit that to you today, or?
We will see it signed, and you can go down to the clerk's office and get your copy.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to introduce Mike Browning, who is with us today. He is a representative from Senator Joe Manchin's office. We're really pleased to have you.
Thank you all, good to be here.
Thanks for
You have any
coming.
money with you?
I dare you come without money.
I wish.
It's very nice to have you.
Good to be here.
The next item is a resolution. In the matter of a resolution in response to a demand by the United Mine Workers of America to recognize the UMWA as a collective bargaining representative of the Cabell County EMS workers. We have a resolution that I would like to read to you, and it's lengthy, but I'd like to read it to you in its entirety. Because I think it explains everything, and I don't want to leave anything out. In the matter of a resolution in response to a demand by the United Mine Workers of America to recognize the UMWA as a collective bargaining representative of the Cabell County EMS workers, whereas by letter dated October 24th, 2019, the Mine Workers of America included a formal demand for recognition and a demand to negotiate a collective bargaining agreement between Cabell County Ambulance Service and the United Mine Workers of America. Whereas, although the letter dated October 24th, 2019 was never received by the County Commission of Cabell County, the Commission did receive a letter dated December 12th, 2019, including the October 24th, 2019 letter, and reiterating a demand that the Commission conduct a vote of its members to recognize the UMWA as a collective bargaining representative of Cabell County EMS workers. Whereas in syllabus point 2 of the City of Fairmont versus Retail, Wholesale, and Department Store Union, AFL-CIO, 166 West Virginia, 1980, the Supreme Court of Appeals of West Virginia held that while some constitutional protection is extended under the First Amendment to public employees to organize, speak freely, and petition, it is clear that a public employer is not required to recognize or bargain with a public employee association or union in the absence of a statutory requirement. Whereas in syllabus point 1, Jefferson County Board of Education versus Jefferson County Education Association, 183 West Virginia 15, 1990, the Supreme Court of Appeals of West Virginia held that in the absence of legislation, the common law rule recognized in both federal and state courts is that public employees do not have the right to strike. Whereas in syllabus point 2 of Jefferson County Board of Education versus Jefferson County Education Association, 183 West Virginia 15, 1990, the Supreme Court of Appeals of West Virginia held the right of public employees to bargain collectively, to have mediation and binding arbitration, and to strike are all matters best resolved in the legislative arena. Whereas the West Virginia Legislature has not enacted legislation establishing the right of county employees to bargain collectively, to have mediation and binding arbitration, and to strike. Whereas Chapter 7 of the Code of West Virginia regulates the employment of county employees, including county emergency medical service employees, but contains no provisions regarding collective bargaining, mediation, binding arbitration, or strikes. Whereas the Emergency Medical Services Act was enacted in 1975, West Virginia Code 715-1. Whereas in Teets versus Miller, 237 West Virginia 473, 2016, the Supreme Court of Appeals of West Virginia held while a county commission is not under a mandatory duty to provide emergency ambulance service that exceeds its available funds, The Emergency Ambulance Act clearly does not prohibit a county from exercising its discretion to provide a higher level of emergency ambulance service than required by the mandatory duty. And whereas West Virginia Code 715.4 provides, except as hereinafter provided, and in addition to all other duties imposed upon it by law, the county commission shall cause emergency ambulance services to be made available to all the residents of the county where such service is not otherwise available. Provided, however, that the duty imposed upon county commissions by this article shall not be construed in such manner as to impose a duty to cause such emergency ambulance service to be provided unless the commission shall make an affirmative determination that there are funds available, therefore, by the inclusion of a projected expenditure for such purpose in the current levy estimate. And in the event that such county commission shall make such determination, the commission shall not be under a duty to cause such service to be provided beyond a level commensurate with the amount of funds actually available for such purposes. Whereas the Cabell County Emergency Services was created by the Cabell County Commission, subject to its statutory authority, and is being provided at a level commensurate with the amounts of funds available for such purpose. Whereas the Emergency Medical Services Act was enacted in 1996, West Virginia Code 16.4C1, and whereas the Office of Emergency Medical Services was created by the Emergency Medical Services Act, West Virginia Code 16.4C4, whereas the Emergency Medical Services Act provides standards for emergency medical services personnel, West Virginia Code 16.4C8. Whereas the Commissioner of the Office of Emergency Medical Services is authorized to promulgate rules for disciplinary action and sanctions, West Virginia Code 16.4C6. And whereas the Commissioner of the Office of Emergency Medical Services is authorized to investigate complaints and impose discipline for violations of the standards for emergency services personnel. Whereas Cabell County Emergency Medical Service employees shall have the right and are encouraged to bring any safety or other concerns to the attention of their supervisors. And whereas Cabell County Emergency Medical Service employees have the right and are encouraged to bring any safety or other concerns to the attention of the Cabell County Commission. Whereas Cabell County Emergency Medical Services employees have the right and are encouraged to bring any safety or other concerns to the attention of the Commissioner of the Office of Emergency Medical Services. And whereas the health and safety of the citizens of Cabell County would be compromised should employees of the Cabell County Emergency Ambulance Service strike. And the Cabell County Commission is unaware of any safety or other concerns that have been brought to the attention of Cabell County Emergency Medical Service supervisors, the Cabell County Commission, and the Commissioner of the Office of Emergency Medical Services, warranting disregard by the Cabell County Commission of the absence of action by the West Virginia Legislature, providing for collective bargaining mediation, binding arbitration, and striking by county emergency medical service employees. Be it resolved, adjudged, and ordered that the demand for recognition to negotiate a collective bargaining agreement between Cabell County Ambulance Service and the United Mine Workers of America is hereby denied, without prejudice to the right of the UMWA and Cabell County Emergency Medical Service employees to request the West Virginia Legislature to adopt a statutory framework for collective bargaining, mediation, binding arbitration, and striking by county emergency medical services. That's the resolution that's before the commission at this time. We need to make a motion to get it on the floor, I think.
That's correct.
So moved.
The motion's been made.
Second.
It has been seconded. At this time, we will have discussion, and I think we have David Williams, who's already signed up. So David, we'll let you speak.
I'll speak right here.
Sure.
I'm David Williams. Some of you know me as Alligator Jackson, but, ma'am, I don't need to be disrespectful or anything. I just want to have 5 minutes and work back there. That's just, this is about common decency, man. You Cabell EMS have our back. I mean, we are in a changing world right now. Look what happened this week already. We're the first mass shooting in the world for not only the year, but for the decade. And then, somebody goes on a police chase right down around Marshall. If Marshall kids would have been in, who do you think has to come and fix all this? These people have our back. They do the little things that nobody wants to talk about. They see things that can't be unseen. This is about common decency. They just want a voice, man. They can't go to their supervisors. They've had people, you know who they come to? They come to me. They come to my website because there's been so many injustices done to them by their supervisors. I've gotten from dozens of people literally, and some of them have, they're afraid to say anything because they've been dismissed because they have complaints. I mean, these people just want to come to work. They, I mean, these are the people who came to my house the night of the Super Bowl and took my mom a few years ago when nobody's out working around. He took her to the hospital when she had a heart attack. These are the people who come out on a rainy night whenever I had a medical emergency, middle of the night. They have my back. They don't, all they want is to know people care about them. They have a voice that's heard, and know that somebody's got their back. You know, if they have a problem with their boss or something, there is a neutral party or somebody that's looking out for them. I mean, we're just talking common decency here. Let's take care of the people that take care of us. That's all I ask as a taxpayer.
Thank you.
Take care of the people that take care of me.
Is there any other discussion?
Yes, I'm with the United Mine Workers, and I think they need to have their voice heard.
Could you state your name?
Floyd Conlon. And I think they need to have a vote to have their voice. The only way they can have their voice is to have a vote.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to be heard? Is there any further discussion on the resolution before you? Hmm? Ansel, did you have anything you'd like to say? Ansel is the attorney that has been working on this for us.
Sure. I want to put some of it in context. I was at the Supreme Court in 1990 when there was a statewide teacher strike. And the Jefferson County Board of Education filed a lawsuit to enjoin the teachers there to come back to work. And so the case in the resolution was decided in that context. And what the court decided at that time was teachers might have a legitimate reason to go on strike and to organize. But it wasn't the role of the courts to make that determination. It's a very complex issue. Kids need educated. And so what the court held was that there is no right of public employees, it's well established, to organize, to strike, and to collectively bargain. But left it to the legislature. So if county EMS workers or any other county workers or any public employees want collective bargaining, want the ability to strike, they have a forum, and that's the West Virginia Legislature meeting right now. And Chapter 7 of the code establishes the rules and regulations for county employees, including county EMS workers, and there are separate statutes for teachers. And the issue of collective bargaining for public employees is very complicated. And so that's why, at least in my opinion, if county EMS workers or teachers or anyone else wants to collectively bargain, become members of a union, they have a forum. That forum is the West Virginia Legislature and not their public employers. And a point was made, and it's an excellent one. We all should value our EMS workers. It's a job I would want. You know, going out in the middle of the night, car wrecks, things like that. These are fine people, fine men and women who serve this county well. But I proudly grew up in a United Steelworkers household, and the most powerful tool that a union has and its members in collective bargaining is the ability to strike. Okay? The ability to strike. Well, it's one thing that if steel workers or mine workers go on strike and a coal order or a steel order can't be filled. But if my grandmother's died of a heart attack, if my teenage son or daughter is in a car wreck, I don't want to hear that the county EMS workers are on strike. Thank you.
Thank you, Ansel. Any further discussion? Hearing none.
Yes, ma'am. Greg Hendry, I'm an employee at Cabell County EMS. I'm also a proud former employee, retired employee of the Federal Aviation Administration, 31 and a half years. I was employed as an air traffic controller in 1981, August of 1981. You may recall from history, that was when the air traffic controllers, who individually had all signed agreements to not engage in a strike. At that time, President Ronald Reagan enforced the law after 3 days, fired all of those controllers for striking. Since then, we have seen incidents where public employees, such as teachers, have struck, and nothing has been done. Madam Commissioner, Madam President, I submit to you, that is not a failure of the union, that's not a failure of the employees, that's a failure of leadership. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Yes, ma'am. My name is Josh King with United Mine Workers. I hear a lot of talk about strikes and everything else. I mean, how many people in here actually know who the United Mine Workers are? We don't just represent coal industry. New River Health in Fayette County, New River Health Association, we represent them. You want to talk about strike? In their contract, there is a no strike clause. They're not allowed to strike because they're a medical service. Take Gallia County, Ohio, EMS units. We represent them. We're, matter of fact, in the middle of bargaining with their new contractor. There's a no strike clause there. We don't just represent coal industry. We don't push for strikes. And that's what I keep hearing, is people just talking about strikes. That's not what a union is. What we are is an organization that does our best to defend our members in every shape we can. And that's all we're asking, that's all these people are asking, is just for an election to be heard.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak on the issue? Yes.
Yes, ma'am. My name's Michael Ryan. I'm an employee with Cabell County EMS. In regards to, like the gentleman was saying, they did a lot of research for you all for this resolution. And several of the other people have already mentioned, we're not here to be able to get the ability to strike. We know we're in a profession that people die if we strike. We're not here for that. We are here for the people of this community and the people of this county, and to help and protect and serve those people and the taxpayers of this county. And like he said, he doesn't want to hear that local EMS workers are on strike if his family members have a heart attack. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't have a voice to be able to support our other employees.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
I would like to say something. Tina Hendry, as a spouse of someone that works for EMS, these people need to be heard. You all were there when you took my mom back and forth to the hospital when she passed. You all were there with Greg when he had his issues and had to be transported. I love Cabell County EMS. From Gordon all the way down. I love all of you all. I really, really appreciate everything that you all do. I couldn't do it. You all are special. And I just feel like they need to be heard. They have a voice. They need to not just be swept under the rug. And if there's a transport, these people, I didn't realize it until Greg started working for them. They work 24-hour shifts. I have a deep respect for them. They're on duty 24 hours. 10 minutes before they're supposed to leave, they get pushed a transport to Cleveland. They're tired, they're worn out. The safety, just the safety issues alone, it's not being addressed. Somebody's gonna get killed, and I don't want to see that happen. Like I said, I love everybody here at Cabell County EMS. You all are special, you're needed, and they need a voice. They need to be heard, and I just really hope and pray you all do the right thing, that you hear them, just listen to them. And it's not about the money. This isn't about the money, how much money you're gonna give them. It's not about the money. It's about human decency. They can go to their supervisors. The supervisors can work one-on-one with them. And there's a good thing there. There's a good job there. There can be. It's just leadership. It needs to be, something needs to be done. It needs to be done. It's a serious, and I'm not one to stand up and talk, but I really take this personally. I really take it personally because I know how much I appreciate them. They've been there for my family. And I just hope and pray you all do the right thing and listen to them, please.
Madam President, I'd like to speak about it. The county commission has supported EMS unbelievably so, and they are so supportive of what you all do. The issue is that you have a forum, but what you're gonna have to do is get people to go to the legislature and talk to your delegates and say, we need legislation that allows us to form a union and go through collective bargaining and all the other matters that come with that. The county commission does not have the ability to do that. And the only way you can do it is to go to the legislature and press upon them the need that you want this. So, to answer all your questions, it isn't that you're not without the ability to do something, but you've got to go to the legislature and talk to your representatives and say, get some legislation passed so that we have the ability to collectively bargain and go through all the other things that you need to be done. So I hope you understand that. It's not that we, the commission, are trying to deprive you of anything. We just do not have the legal authority and ability to do it. It has to be done by passage of legislation. And if they do it, and they give you all the right for collective bargaining and other matters such as that, then the union would be recognized, and we, the county commission, would have to follow accordingly. So please, gather up your group and try to get to the legislation, to the legislators, and ask them to pass some legislation. Since they're now in session, this is the right time to go up there.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. The motion carries. Thank you all. We appreciate it. Next item is a resolution in the matter of the Board of Equalization and Review of Cabell County property tax assessments for the year 2020. It's a schedule of meeting dates.
So moved.
Motion's been made to approve those meeting dates
Second.
and has been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. We have a letter from Irv Johnson. I think he's wanting some money from the dog fund, $49.30.
So move.
Motion's been
Second.
made. Been seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Next item is the reappointments to the Cabell County Convention and Visitors Bureau. It's that time of the year when all of our appointments are up at the same time. We have Randy Dunphy, Will Holland, Mike Alexander, Dave Lavender.
I had a question on that. Did you have communication with the Visitors Bureau?
Absolutely.
Okay, so is Dave Lavender, was he appointed on behalf of the Herald Dispatch as a
No, he's-
reporter, or is he just,
He's appointed by us.
but I mean, is he from the perspective of,
He doesn't work for the Herald Dispatch
I know,
anymore.
I'm just wondering if it was,
We
You know, we have
appointed him, we
categories.
appointed him to the Cabell Huntington Convention and Visitors Bureau. That was our appointment. It has nothing to
Right.
do with his job.
but I didn't know, like some of our boards, we have to have somebody representing this
No.
segment of the community and this profession. I didn't know how that worked with the Visitors
No.
Bureau. So I just want to make sure that we're not outside of that.
No, not at all.
Okay, thank you.
So move.
The motion's been made,
Second?
has been seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item is the appointment to the Cabell Huntington Convention and Visitors Board, Nancy Cartwheel.
Would you like to nominate yourself? No, I'm so move.
Second?
The motion is made, it has been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, no. We have a commissioner usually on that board. I don't think it's required, but we always do, and Bob Bailey had been serving. And of course, Bob Bailey's no longer on the commission. That's the reason that we had to appoint someone else. Next item is a resolution for the employment of Justin Lee Beckett as a per diem critical care paramedic, Debbie Bowes as a full-time secretary.
So move.
And let's go ahead and do the reclassifications for Tiffany Ball as a per diem paramedic.
So
We have a
moved.
motion.
Second?
Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
Aye.
Motion carries. In the matter of pledging of temporary letters of credit by West Banco Wheeling.
So move.
Second?
Motion's been made, it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next item is a resolution in the matter of the pledging of temporary letters of credit by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank.
So move.
Second?
Motion's been made, it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item is a resolution, and it's a county budget revision number 4, and we'll talk to Beth about that.
This is a county
revision out of county clerk's office, she's moving money out of capital outlay into printing.
Okay.
What are we printing?
Probably election stuff, but I didn't ask.
Okay. So moved.
Second. Motion's been made, it's been seconded, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I oppose no. Motion carries. We need to place on record the minutes to be recorded for the Culloden PSD Special Board Meeting, November 6, 2019, Culloden PSD Regular Board Meeting, November 20th, 2019, Salt Rock PSD Regular Board Meeting, November 21, 2019. Documents that need to be recorded are Milton Volunteer Fire Department Excess Levy Funds Reporting for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2019. A letter, City of Huntington Water Quality Board, update on activities regarding the accreditation of the Ohio River Levee Flood Wall System, and a monthly statement of the Assessor of Cabell County, West Virginia, for the month of December 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made, it's been seconded, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Is there any conversation concerning Commissioners' representation reports?
Today's law enforcement appreciation day, so we'd just like to say we appreciate our law enforcement and our first responders and everybody.
No pay raises, though.
You already got one.
And also anything for the good and welfare of Cabell County to come before the commission.
And Commissioner Hayes, I'll be busy. Last Thursday night, we had our extension service committee meeting, and we have hired a new 4-H agent for Cabell County. Her official start date is now January 20th.
Okay.
Which is MLK Day, so I guess really her birthday will be 21st. She's wrapping up some stuff down at River Explorer Academy, and she'll be here, guns blazing, ready to go, get to work for Cabell County.
And who is that person?
It'll be Leslie Lehman. She was the former, over the mentoring program at Explorer Academy and worked at the Boys and Girls Club too. So she has great familiarity with the county and getting back with the leaders and helping build that relationship back up.
Okay.
Will you bring her to our
Yes.
next
I
meeting?
was hoping she'd be here today, but she said she's wrapping up some stuff and trying to get all that
Thank you.
ready for the next person to take that position.
Okay, thank you. If there's nothing else to come before the commission, we will sign the necessary paperwork and then we will adjourn. Thank you so much for being here.